Hello, this is a CCR for the film called The Remains of Life. It's about a teenager who is trying to survive the world and figure out what caused these humans to appear out of nowhere. When it comes to animation, the typical ways to do it. One way is to use the 12 principles of animation, like squish and squash, slow in or slow out, or staging. Another way is character animation. Character animation can include a realistic or stylish approach to the film. Character It also includes character design that are typically seen in certain genres. A typical animation can includes a background, props, sound effects, and voice acting. For an action film, it typically contains action scenes such as fighting or chase scenes. And it also includes explosions, destruction, or any visible type of action. For sci fi, it typically contains some kind of advanced technology shown in the film, futuristic costume designs in the cast, as well as worldly settings such as setting it to the future, in space, or a dystopian setting. The media conventions that were used in this film included but not all principles of animation, such as slow out in the close-up of the monster. For the animation style, I use a simpler style to be able to animate easier. This film was a character animation that included backgrounds, props, and effects and sound effects. However, it did not include voice acting as a typical animation would. For design, the protagonist had a typical design scene action film with clothes that are easy for movement and a vibrant color palette to stick out with the background. But it didn't really have any sci-fi elements besides the robot mask. For the social groups that the film tried to appeal to are teenagers through the age of 13 to 18 and people who are entertained through action or robots and tech. I chose these social groups because that is the typical target audience that the media I consume has always tried to appeal to. The way I try to approach this is by adding typical scenes such as a character running or the torso away from and taking inspiration from characters in the shows I watch and putting them into my character designs. The way the film tries to engage with the audience is by showing typical action scenes such as running and explosions, and monsters and a hero sort of like character. The way the film would be distributed is through social media such as a trailer posted on YouTube, clips and production process being shown on Instagram and Twitter. While making this film, I learned some skills as well as developing them. One of the skills I developed is animating. During the production process of this film, I had to know how to animate. I know this was my first time doing an actual animation, so I researched ways of doing animation such as techniques, how many frames I actually need to draw, and practice. I also developed my editing skills such as putting and cutting clips together, as well as editing sounds such as lowering the volume and changing the opacity of the sound, like with the music in the beginning and being at normal opacity level, then fading out as the monster scene gets closer. As the same way with the monster screaming. Another skill that I developed in this production was my drawing skills. With drawing multiple pictures to capture the movement of the characters, I got a better idea on simplifying things and better at consistently drawing. I also developed in character design. I learned from making different silhouettes to make the characters stand out from each other. I also experimented with different ideas from other designs from shows I watched. For example, the main inspiration of the monster was from Eva Unit 1 from Evangelion, with other elements from different shows and manga, including Surge from Pokemon and Zuma's yokai form in the Dandadan manga. For the protagonist design, I only did a few design tests. I learned that limiting yourself to 3 to 6 ideas can help with deciding a design for your characters as well as saving time. For editing, I used WeVideo to put all the clips and sound together of the film as it was a simple editing program that I was taught how to use in class, so it was easy to know how to use it for editing. For animating, I used Flipperclip in the first set, but with the limited layers and other things I need to pay a subscription for, I decided to change programs. For the second set, I use an app called IR Book. When I need to watch ads for some tools, I didn't need to pay for it. It was also easy to animate since I could just do how many frames I could see behind and forward. The drawing program I used to draw for the sunset background and the character designs is called Iris Paint. Iris Paint is a drawing app that I was familiar with using, so it was no problem. It's also free with some ads to watch to unlock them, but I really didn't need them, so there was no need to really pay for stuff. Then I used Google Photos to store the references I used and then downloaded it to my Google Drive to be able to put it into WeVideo. The devices I use are the school Chromebook to access WeVideo and Google Drive. And for animating, I use my iPad and stylus to draw and animate the film.